Hello everybody, welcome to Antwerp, to very cold Antwerp, for the match today of Beerschot against Leuven. Do or die, chance, last chance saloon, all or nothing, all of this applies to this particular game. One team has to win to have another chance to maybe reach the semi-finals. My name is William Marinis. I'm joined today by the various teams, Shane McLeod, who will be providing the technical insights and some other insights today. So thank you again for joining us. We will be taking questions as well, I believe, on the chat. So if you do have any questions, I don't believe for myself, it's more for Shane, or about the game, feel free to pop them in the chat and we will try to respond to them as best as I can. Shane, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, pleasure to be here. You're right, it is cold. But these type of matches, they bring out a bit of heat and a bit of fire, so it should be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, and we're off obviously already, very much in the thick of it from the start. Beerschot maybe on the counter-attack here on the left. Okay, so as I mentioned in the beginning, this is very much do or die. Both clubs have to win. Oh, that was very close. Both clubs have to win this to then stand still a chance to go through to the semi-finals. So must win. Shane, a bit early in the game maybe, but are you seeing any kind of very aggressive setups or very offensive setups other than usual?
No, I think you'll see over the first probably 5 to 10 minutes, teams just trying to find their way a bit. Bit of a turnover here,
yeah.
Some easy opportunities, but usually the game finds a bit of a rhythm before you see teams structurally changing anything or kind of getting into a situation where they chase the game or anything like that. So we'll see who is the most dominant in this first exchange.
The scramble here for Leuven.
There's probably a few key players for us to have a look at. The guy on the ball now, Simon Gugnard, Red Lion player, really athletic, likes to play the game at a lot of speed. So it'll be interesting to see how Beerschot manage his physicality. And on Beerschot, you got a few big names here. First on the ball at the moment, massive experience, and what he's done for the Beerschot team is given another bit of a sense of control and. Certainly in the back area, so you'll see the likes of Leuven being able to play a bit more freer.
Oh, and here we go, backhand! Oh, that was close.
Early opportunity. And also the likes of Rossi gives him a bit more stability. So yeah, they've put together quite a good back unit.
Right, I'm sure all the younger players benefit obviously from a presence like Mo.
Yeah, it's probably in two areas. One is the training environment for sure, seeing how the standards that Olympic athletes have. He's getting on in the years, but full of experience, and he demands a lot from the players that he plays around.
Right.
A guy on the ball now, Pat Harris is an American player, so it's interesting that he's come out of the States. Good player. He's played a lot in Europe now, though, because USA don't have much of a program.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that there was even hockey in the USA. No offense if there's any American listeners. I also know, I think there's a second actually American-born player on the pitch, if not right now, but it's Sean Murray. Because I saw his name, I thought he must be Irish, and he is, but he was born in Detroit. That's a little factoid. Is Sean on the pitch? I can't quite see. Oh, missed control there. Not too bad. Bad control, advantage given. Leuven on the counter, blocked. There you see the experience in action. Gosh.
Yeah, that's a really good example. You see the ball turning over, and then someone that understands the game of it just gets hold of it and tries to get a bit of normality back into the play.
Movement seeking for a little gap, and that was a high ball, I believe. No. Bit scrambly. So Shane, any what do you call them? What do you think? How this will pan out this game? Any ideas? I mean, obviously a draw wouldn't suit neither team, but
no, you're going to see as soon as you say it, it's likely to go the other way. But you're going to see one team win this game. Otherwise, they end up cutting each other's throat a bit. And so you might see some interesting tactics in the last quarter, some desperation stuff and so on. But again, it depends on how the game unfolds up until that. You know, Beerschot are having some good opportunities here, and they need to try and get an early goal to break the game open a bit.
Right. Any clear favourites? I don't think so, right? Based on the past results and from what I've seen, they seem to be very evenly matched.
It's a really tough one to pick. You know, like Beerschot are at home, but you don't have the home crowd advantage anymore. You certainly have the training ground, and you're used to the surface and the environment, but not necessarily the home crowd.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier before this started, whether it had any deep impact on you know, the home advantage, say, and you were, well, what was your kind of take on it?
Well, it just it feels a bit like training games, you know, like you miss that stimulus of a crowd that gets in behind the home team or gives the umpire a little bit of a hard time. All of that type of thing is gone.
Wonderful turn there.
Yeah, this is
going.
A good opportunity.
Oh, great opportunity created there.
So yeah, it's a bit of a levelling factor, and really players have to lift themselves to make sure that they get ready for these type of games. The crowds are not going to do that.
As we thought, this is still pretty balanced, kind of feeling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of wasteful play at the moment, you know, turnovers that are unexpected or you know, certainly unforced. So, you know, the team that can eliminate those quicker than the others will also have a big advantage of the quality of opportunities they can create.
Down to nerves or just windy conditions and a bouncy pitch?
Yeah, it's hard to name exactly what it is. Like, I think they've done a good job here. The surface is one of the best playing surfaces in Belgium. And you know, it's a good temperature for players to play. It's a bit cold for spectators and commentators. But in regards to what they should be able to produce, you know, there's no real excuses except for maybe a bit of nerves on the importance of the game.
Chance for a counter here.
He's a talented player, Perez. We've been watching him a little bit over the last couple of years. Got a lot of speed, really energetic type of player.
Yeah, good Arthur. So Arthur and Mo seem to be very much kind of the basis, quite literally, of the team here, but both being at the back. Would that be an accurate read, or?
Yeah, so they contribute a lot in build-up. They also, you know, they lead the defence and things like that. But, you know, the one thing with good players at the back of the field is they see the game ahead of them. So strategically they can play quite well. So Leuven have got quite a good setup here. Seymour's free on the outside. It's taking a bit long to get him there.
So Simon looking again for the action. Good foul. Also a lot of experience, obviously, in Luca, being an Olympic champion.
Yeah, look, he's also slowing down a little bit, but he never loses a ball. Very, very strong in his position, and a real competitor. You know, so he's also a player that would be great in the training environment. Nice setup.
Good circle penetration here.
Yeah.
Looking for a foot, and nothing comes of it. Despite obviously having here images and live video, the teams cannot recourse to video refereeing. So we might be in for, hopefully not, but some controversial decisions.
Well, maybe late in the game, you know, like it gets really tight and it becomes, it depends on the nature of the game, obviously, but these type of games, they can have a crucial decision that can make the difference in the game.
Stanley Verhoeven here pushing on. But blocked. Was he given enough time to clear?
Oh, he's blinded as him not being 5, but but not deliberate enough to give a corner is the only way I can see that one. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah, very high up the pitch now, Beerschot.
The other thing with Leuven and Förster is they're really good players to get to lead off. So you'll see that often they'll be the ones that pass into the circle area, and guys lead a little bit harder for those type of players. Now Leuven's offering their own type of style attack here.
So again, a bit of a disclaimer here for our viewers. I'm a lifelong Beerschot member, and so somewhat slightly biased, which I will try to suppress best as I can. But could you comment maybe on the playing styles of both teams that you've seen across the season so far?
Yeah, well, like I watched the start of the season before Mo first arrived with Beerschot, and what you would see happening is you'd see teams standing in front of De Slover and pushing the game away from him, and then trying to apply pressure. So, you know, when you have one dominant player at the back, it becomes easy to do that. And so what's happened with Mo coming in is far more opportunity to be dynamic. And you'll see them attacking down both the left and the right side. So I thought that was a big plus, you know, and also the overall confidence of all of the players. So structurally they're a bit more sound. You'll see now that they create a nice large field. Players are working hard to become available and so on. And also the confidence to give guys in a little bit of tight congested space. So you see Harrison here.
Right there, yeah. Oh, this could be dangerous. But well cleared.
Yeah, so you know, I think that they've certainly grown with his presence and so on. I find that they match up very well against a few sides. So I think against a team like Wadducks, they seem to have a pretty good record against them, Beerschot, because they press well. And they win the ball in some quite good areas, and they're a bit unorthodox about how they attack. So yeah, that's interesting.
Good catch.
With Leuven, the flip side is I think they have a tendency to kind of slow the game down and then speed it up. So
on purpose.
On purpose,
right.
And that's a bit unsettling if teams aren't ready for that style of play. You know, there's a few players in there that have that ability to change pace. Very clever. They've also got a good class corner with Jerome De Keyser.
Yeah.
So that makes them competitive in tight games, and I think they get into quite a few tight games.
And I'm sure Simon can also be quite instrumental in some games with his power and prowess.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like he's one of our most impressive athletes in the Red Lions team, and you know, I think in any side, if he's not taken care of, you know, he can cause massive problems.
Great ball in. Gonna cross it? No. Some really good defending here so far.
Yeah, and I guess that's a little bit of a feature of Leuven. You know, they've defended a lot in this competition and got better and better at it. I think their keeper is actually quite a talented keeper. You know, he hasn't necessarily been called.
Oh, poor pass by Simon there, intercepted. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, look, I think that they've got quite a good defender, good keeper. So he helps to give some stability there. And because they're focused quite a bit on defending, they do what you see a lot here, a little bit of
and we have our first penalty
defending.
corner, so I interrupt what you're saying, but
okay. Yeah, a lot of scrambling defending, so it doesn't always look pretty, but is often quite effective.
Right. So penalty corner here, I think we have the usual setup here for Beerschot, meaning that we have Mo on the right as an option, but equally Arthur on the left as an option. I'm assuming nothing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. So De Slover doesn't really flick a great deal for, well, he doesn't flick at all for the Red Lions, but it's a bit of, you know, a bit of
decoy for Mo that would be the default, or how would you read it?
Oh, I reckon Flo, yes. Mo might try and test the keeper out on the first one.
Oh, here we go, guys.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And it goes to Arthur. Good stop. Bit of a weak effort, though. But well stopped by the goalie.
Yeah, it's not an easy area, but he would have wanted a bit more power on that one, I think.
Good control, good management here still by Beerschot. Playing the ball around. Left is wide open, but decides to find a Leuven stick. I don't know, sometimes when I turn, yeah, don't know. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm being asked to hold the cable to stop the interference. But it seems to be when I'm turning right, it seems to be. I accept, okay, I'll just look at the empty goal. Sorry about that, folks. So the sun is coming out, that's something. But so far it's been an interesting opening, very balanced. A few circle penetration on each end, one penalty corner.
A little bit of a structural change. So,
what are you seeing?
So Beerschot moving more to a back five type of setup. Trying to play a little bit more or open up the insides and see what happens.
Here we go, Mo.
Here's an internal attack.
Very coverage of the ball. So you were saying, you know, about Leuven changing the pace of the game. Who or what decides this change of pace? Is it an individual on the pitch? Is it the coach? Is it the situation? Obviously a combination of, but how does that come about?
Well, I think they're a team that has extremes of the skill sets of players. So if you have a look at, you know, you compare someone like Santana versus Simon. So Santana wants to be in position. You see him walking into position now. Things settled, stay settled. And then you got Simon, who's the other end, who wants to play the game as fast as he can and make that athletic difference in the match. And so, you know, you get that contrast in players, and whoever's on the ball is going to dominate that speed factor. So it makes for a really interesting combination, and if they get it right, it becomes really tough for teams.
Have you seen any pace changes so far, any of the sort?
No, look, Sim's been pretty quiet.
Oh, we might have an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Good.
No,
and we do have a goal for Beerschot after initial stop, but we might have an appeal here.
Yeah, I think he kicked that with. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least it's a warning shot for Leuven. It's been 3 or 4 circle penetrations now, I think, for Beerschot.
Yeah,
seems to somewhat have the upper hand so far.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think Beerschot are being a bit more dominant, a bit more control about them. You know, the first quarter, it's probably okay to be 0-0, but, you know, Beerschot, with the chances they've had, probably ruining the fact that they're not going into the first quarter with one goal ahead.
Now this is going to show how distant I've been from hockey lately, but how has the change from 2 halves to 4 quarters impacted the game?
I think it does a few things. It gives more coaching moments, so I think it's a bit of a leveler there. You know,
Okay.
one of the things I quite enjoyed about the 35-minute halves was that you would grind teams down a bit, and you know the last part of the half would have been you get a lot of rewards. You know, a lot of goals were scored in that period of time. So now, you know, and I'm talking internationally now, there's opportunities to reset things, and you don't see that situation where teams run away with it. You know, there's always a correction moment and an opportunity to change how you're pressing or to solve the problem, and also bring a group back together and be composed. So yeah, in that regard, it's been quite a change. I think it's made teams that have a greater athletic ability get brought back to the rest, because I think you have those moments where you can take 2 minutes, catch your breath back. So, if we have a look at Tokyo, there's going to be extreme conditions to play hockey, and 15 minutes and then having a break, that's going to keep those two teams a lot closer together, I think.
So jumping to another assumption is that would Australia not have been a big big proponent, I guess, of that change, given that at the time I believe they really had a physical edge over a lot of teams back then.
Yeah. I teams like Australia, Belgium, even Holland, you'd suggest as well to a certain degree. The teams that like to play real fast style of hockey, it probably doesn't suit them as much as let's say some teams that are a bit more defensive minded and try and slow the game down a little bit. Spain's a good example. A very good hockey team, but they're not athletically gifted, and so they want to play a very controlled game, and they want to play it for long periods of time at that type of level. So for teams like that, I think it helps them a bit.
Off we are for the second quarter now. Still 0-all. Still all to play for. Mode looking to go long. Beautiful ball.
Great.
Well caught. Some real threat here. And again, solid defending by Leuven.
Yeah.
Not giving anything away. Two spotted. Leuven seems to be almost willingly, consciously kind of soaking it up.
Yeah, well, it's again, it's their style of it. They're dropping quite deep. They probably understand the threat of both De Slover and Förster to get balls into the circle. So, they want to make that as congested as possible. The thing is, they're going to have to start throwing some things at Beerschot. You can't defend all day. So,
Now, speaking of which, here we come. Oh, missed a stop there, but it was a first threat.
Yeah.
So any structural changes that you've noticed at the start of second quarter? I'm assuming not.
No, it's still, they're still finding a way a bit. I think seeing Leuven sitting a little bit higher now, an interesting style press.
Great ball by Arthur, cut across him, Sydney. Yep. Appeals for a foul there. Didn't see much going on for me, to be honest. Was that an attempt to pass? I'm not too sure what that was.
Yeah, it was a bit of a no-look type thing, hoping someone might be in a good position.
What are you looking at right now, Shane? Are you looking at the movement? Are you looking at positioning?
I tend to watch quite a lot of structure. It's just it's a bit habitual. Like
right.
you don't often watch games to commentate, so I usually watch to see what's happening in games, what's developing, where are opportunities, and things like that. When you know your own team, it's easy to know what you can do against some opposition, because you train for those type of things, and you train for the changes that you want to make and stuff. But I do like how Beerschot is structured. They've certainly stretched Leuven out, so Leuven really struggling to get any sort of pressure on the ball. Here's a little bit of an opportunity, but De Slover tracking well, and now he's already in the midfield.
Such power.
Yeah, it's great play.
Great individual effort. They're setting up. Oh, slipped, unfortunately. Still in play though. That's looked like an appeal for a penalty corner.
Small game to try and get out here. Beerschot again quite structured quite well, so if they can win it, they can look to transfer. Here's a go.
And
transfer.
Unfortunate. But there's real intent now in Beerschot's play, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Well deserved. No. Oh, God.
He grabbed the wrong club there, Harrison.
Obviously failing at being impartial right now.
Young Harrison had a great opportunity there.
He did.
He needed to grab a 9-iron rather than his driver.
But Beerschot seems to be increasingly in control now, really dominating the game in the proceedings. As we see the replay here now of Harrison's opportunity.
Needed to get a little bit of height in there. Keeper did a great job to get back in time, but he would have liked to have done a bit better, young Harrison.
Again, we have certain penetration here. Good layup.
Yeah.
That was late after the whistle. He might get a bit of a talk to. But we have a second penalty corner for Beerschot. And you really feel that may certainly be before half-time, like Beerschot needs to convert one of these opportunities now.
Yeah, well, as the game's starting to develop, you're seeing a bit more quality coming forward from Beerschot. Their shape's always been pretty good, and you know, if you lack the running, or if you're unable to get pressure on the ball, then it's going to be difficult for you to spend the whole day defending like that. So, you know, Leuven's going to have to do a bit more with the ball, and you know, hopefully for Beerschot they can put one of these in to just liven the game up a bit.
So here we go. The team had a good look at the first running out, so let's see how they maybe changed it in the corner. And it goes to Mo. Ooh, powerful effort, but straight to the goalkeeper. And the second opportunity at the rebound, unfortunately. There's another appeal. And neither refereeing is indicating anything other than a hit.
Bit of an easy height there, you know. I think the keeper
ideal height really for a goalie.
Well, especially if that sort of quality, I think becomes really easy.
Would you advise your penalty takers in the national squad to kind of go low, go high, or do you leave it entirely to them?
Oh no, look, well, here's the replay. Yeah, so it's just an easy glove height and easy played down. There's a bit of talk about something else happening here.
Not too sure what, that he might have touched it, falling down on him.
Yeah, may have done. Really difficult to pick that live. Yeah, look, how we go about our corners is we have a look at what we're up against, to be fair. You know, like...
Gotcha. Oh, but that was a great,
yeah, it was good.
Great cross.
That's it.
Mo, no. Sorry, that's not Mo.
No, this is...
No.
No, it's a Max Capella. He's a Max Capella. He's a nice little player. Comes from Wat Ducks, or played a few years at Wat Ducks. So I managed to coach him myself. Then he went over to Australia for a year, a life experience. And
Mo gets away with it there.
Yeah.
It's the second ball now. I see him kind of really playing straight at the player at the back there.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
Luke calculated.
Vila is clever, so you know, we think Mo's clever, but Vila's got him as well. You know, he's someone we haven't talked about at all. You know, he's also getting on in age, but incredibly talented player. Plays so well for Argentina. He's one of their biggest threats. Scores a lot of goals. So number 12 for Leuven. Yeah, he just hasn't been on the ball a great deal.
That was a slight touch there. Leuven seems to be somewhat emerging a little bit more from their own half. Gingerly.
Yeah, they need to do it often.
Doesn't seem to be too many options for now. Through good structure by Beerschot, I'm suspecting. And ball back to Beerschot.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about corners just before. You know, we have a look at opposition keepers, so look at their strength areas and a little bit of the opportunities that present themselves with some deficiencies they might have, and that kind of that gives the advice to the flickers. You know, we never give full guidance as to where to go, but we present all of our thoughts. And then they've got to be really comfortable with what they want to do. You know, they'll have their own sort of strategy, but it's based on the knowledge that we build up for them.
So you provide the data, the interpretation of the data,
yeah,
and then you let them a little bit, kind of some freedom.
Yeah, we talk it through. We need to know where they're going to go, obviously, because we need to be able to gauge the possibility of that success. And if they're really off the mark, which never really happens, then we have to kind of guide them back into what we think is within the range. You know, flickers always have their favourite. Sometimes the favourite just doesn't work with that keeper. So, you know, we suggest sometimes they go to their second or third best option, mainly because of the matchup.
Again here, Beerschot applying some pressure.
Nice turnover.
It is. Maybe some opportunity here. Regretting that.
It's a good breakdown of play as well there by Leuven. Isolated.
Three people around that play there.
Yeah.
Real opportunity here for Beerschot. Still on the left. Well recovered. Oh, that's just too wide. I don't think John will be too happy with the execution of that counter.
No, it was a little bit too narrow.
There was space on the left though, I thought.
Yeah, they could have gone both ways, but again, no one was really stretching and making it that hard to defend. So it was a good opportunity that wasted there.
Again, medium high pressure from Beerschot here.
It's a good press. And this is one of their features when they start to get a bit of confidence. And
it pays off.
Nice ball win.
Off we go again.
Capella.
Not many options at the front so far. Oh, that was a... Oh, he might have left the advantage there, you might argue. But we'll take a penalty corner. As in we, Beerschot. I'm really trying, people. Should he have left advantage there? It feels like it was whistled quite quickly there.
Yeah, it was. You know, like a corner was... the umpires get caught either way. Like if they let it go and then they are asking for a corner, and
fair enough.
Yeah, they get penalised. It was blown relatively quickly, I agree, but probably the right outcome.
So we had one opportunity or one attempt from Arthur and Mo each. Let's see where this is going to fall. Oh.
Yeah, I think the giving out was a bit misdirected there. I think they've got to get a bit more pace on there to be able to execute the variations well if they're looking at that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a layoff so early in the game. So third penalty corner.
Yeah, I think they might have had a look at this keeper and realised that he's not the easiest to beat direct. That's a better pull out.
Oh, good stop on the line, but it still goes in. Beerschot goes ahead 1-0. Deserved, you might argue, kind of given the play so far.
Yeah, look, I think that's more than fair. That was a good flick.
Here we go at the replay off the stick of the defender.
Yeah.
Unusual that the keeper was standing. I remember the first attempt. I think he went straight down and stopped it on the floor.
Yeah, like I think that's a tough area for keepers because you want your first runner and your line stop to be able to cover that to a certain degree. So yeah, it's tough for the keeper. Here's again quite a nice press from Beerschot, keeping on one side.
Exactly, maintaining the high medium pressure here. So Leuven is going to have to come out now. We still have plenty of time left, but we'll be hoping to see some more adventurous style from Leuven now. Change of pace you mentioned before.
Yeah, it's
well, we have semi-Spanish and Belgian Armada waiting to go on the pitch with Jerome de Keizer, Santana and Villa.
It's quite a subbing sheet as we look down for the next three coming on.
Good pressure there by Leuven. Didn't quite pay off. He was short of options, really. He was left with no other option than just run down the line. It might be just a thing, but it does seem that Leuven has a bit more sense of urgency right now. Seems to be a bit more alert. Lucky touch. Nearing the first half, or the end of the first half rather. 3 minutes 20 to play. With
Good
yet
ball.
another opportunity for Beerschot. Looking for the foot, but he didn't.
Well done.
The
Oh, wrong club again. This time he needed his driver and he had his pitching wedge.
Shane might make it sound like Harrison's a terrible golfer, but trust me, he's a very blessed golfer. Good play there by Harrison, seeking out the foul, very experienced. Some talking to by the referee there.
That's often what happens when you get behind scoreboard pressure. One of the first things that
Another high ball. This is not the first time we've seen this. There's 3 or 4 occasions where there's a big diagonal cross.
Yeah, it's certainly one of his big skill sets is to see those passes and the ability to deliver them. You know? And you've noticed as he's got older in his career that that's become more and more in his game.
Out of necessity or out of
no, just it's
experience?
Kind of, yeah, it's experience, and it's how the game's actually evolved. You know, It's become a lot more aerial now, and you'll see players like Louis Leipart becoming a master of flicking balls 70 metres and things like that. So, yeah.
Again, some good play there by Beerschot. They very much still in control of the game. Curious to see what the Spanish coach from Leuven will get out of the hat for the second half. Oh, that was very close. Was it touched? No, it wasn't. Again, 1.5 minutes left. In a entertaining first half so far.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Like more games.
Yeah, I watch a lot of games. Yeah, it's been an interesting game. I think you're right with Beerschot deserving that 1-0 lead. You know, I had a bit more of an expectation that Leuven might throw a bit more at Beerschot, but that you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, as you suggest, it'll be interesting to see what happens after the half time. That's
There
nice
we go.
play.
Good opportunity for 2.
That's
oh,
a
great
goal.
finish. Great finish. 2-0 for Beerschot.
Yeah, really good. Now that was a
Kind of great pass. In the same spot again, right? Where there was a free player. It wasn't overhead, but again.
Yeah, he's got some ability, this kid. Just takes his time, executes a good reverse stick shot.
Just curious to see the goalkeeper here because they seem to have been a defender with him, so I'm not too sure whether goalie should have come out so early or so aggressively.
Yeah, it depends on the keeper's style, but my preference is that they, if they're in a contest with a defender, that they stay home. You know, at least the player's got to beat you then.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm sure in the replay over the half time.
Okay, Vela.
5 seconds left now for Leuven, has to throw it in. But we are going to rest on a 2-0 score. No, not yet. Sorry, watching at the wrong. There we go. First half over. Well-deserved 2-0 lead, I believe, for Beerschot. So yeah, puts Leuven on the spot now for the second half. Let's see what comes of it. Taking a break. We're taking a break, people. So enjoy a cup of coffee, tea, beer, whatever it is for you. Shane and I are gonna find some heat and talk to you in about 10-15 minutes. Thank you.
how confident I feel when I wear my suit. My heart pumps tension and adrenaline. No more thinking, especially by feeling. Enjoy the ride.
Yo.
Omdat wij bij Mobile Vikings weten dat je veel liever naar je favoriete filmpjes kijkt dan naar reclame, hebben we de twee gecombineerd. Uw favoriete filmpje en mijn filmpje. Voilà, smart hè. Maar weet je wat echt smart is? Bij Mobile Vikings surft je en belt je tot 25% goedkoper. Eigenlijk hoor.
Mobile Vikings. Keep your smartphone smart.
Welcome back to Antwerp for the second half. The gloves are on for Shane, the gloves are off for Leuven. Off we go. Shane, I think you were kind of trying to eavesdrop on the Leuven huddle there, half-time. Pick up anything?
Oh, no, not too much. Just a little bit too far away. But I always find it interesting at the half times just to see the dynamics of what's happening, who gets involved in the conversations, and which leaders start to have a presence. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, the Beerschot huddle seemed to be quite relaxed, quite composed.
Yeah, well, they have every right to be, you know, like 2-0 is an interesting scoreline, and they've deserved it. They'd be much happier than going in with a 1-0, or, you know, even worse, a draw at this point in time wouldn't have been good for them.
2-0 was, I think, a good payoff on the basis of the first half.
Yeah, for sure. It took a long time to break, but here's a nice counter.
There. Oh, good opportunity for Leuven. Good intervention there.
Yeah,
Was it Arthur that came in between there at the last minute?
Yeah, young De Slova did a good job. Dangerous guy, Jerome de Kaiser. So, yeah, it's good for Beerschot to put an end to that quickly.
Arthur, I believe the Slover committed for another year, right? For Beerschot. Oh, almost had a great ball through there. So Arthur again committed his future for Beerschot for another season, I believe.
Yeah, he's a pretty loyal sort of guy, and I think that you know, that's part of his character and part of what's attractive is to a lot of clubs about him. You know, like he won't change easily, and yeah, he's a pretty good leader. This guy, I have really a lot of time for him.
It is pretty. I mean, through a maybe a more traditional football prism or lens, it is quite surprising that a player of the quality of Arthur would not go to maybe a bigger competition or a bigger club than Beerschot, with all due respect.
Well, maybe that happens, you know, but you also look at what are the drivers of these players, you know, and he's getting a lot with his international stuff. So there's big programs coming up and things like that. And the other side of things is feeling good in your environment, and he certainly must feel good in the Beerschot environment. You know, he brings a lot to the group, but he must also get a lot from the group. And I know they hold him in high esteem here. So
it's nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, that's right. And he could play in any club that he wants in the world. You know, he's of that caliber. Here's a nice turnover.
There we go. Through pass, just too short. Any structural change that you might have noticed?
No, there's a bit more urgency. So you know, I think the ball's being moved around a bit better, a bit more direct from Leuven now. Whether that's by design or just because they've fallen behind in the game. Lost a bit of their midfield connection here a bit. Pat Harris coming back and giving some support there now. Nice ball.
Good ball in there. Oh, great strike. Goalie had no idea where it was. And again, a great shot.
He's not scared to pull the trigger.
He sure isn't.
Kaiser. The other thing he looks for and why he's dangerous is he likes getting corners for himself as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if he tries to put one on the foot shortly.
Seymour, relatively quiet game so far.
In what regard?
I mean, Seymour, there we go,
Simon,
as we speak. No, I was talking about Seymour.
Yeah.
Maybe well marked or no, didn't have much of the ball, I guess.
No, that's true. You know, one of the things that we work really hard with Simon is getting players around him that are going to service him well. So give him the ball in a bit of space, and often, you know, and if he hasn't got that, he can get a bit frustrated. So, you know, maybe that's an area that Leuven could have a look at.
Here we go, where Leuven has a good opportunity for a counter. All the space on the left. Keeps going.
Oh, that's really well defended. Very well defended.
He was really well covered there by 3 defenders at some point.
Well, you also got to look who it is. You know, that's Luca Vile. So it's not as if he's a normal club player. He's an international player. So they really did a great job of closing him down there.
Some problems with the mics and audio, guys, but hope it's okay for you at home. So here we are again. Beerschot maybe looking to control the game a bit more than the beginning. Obviously, it's all Leuven. Leuven has to do all the hard work right now. There is a danger, I guess, for Beerschot to kind of sit back a bit too much now at this stage. And let the momentum take over.
He's
There you go, Leuven again. Seymour in action.
Bang.
Boom. And we have a stop for seems to be a pretty bad injury, people. We hope he's okay. But people are rushing towards. Who's the player on the ground? Can't quite tell.
Didn't see that one.
No, maybe we'll catch a replay of what happened. But Mo was immediately appealing for somebody to come on the pitch. Looks to be hit in the face. He's up. Okay, I think he seems to be okay. Bit of a knock to the head.
Yeah, for those that are interested in other games that are happening in the Belgian league at the moment, so Dragons have a lead against Gantoise. So Dragons are leading 2-1 at the moment at the half. Watducks Auray is 2-2 at the moment.
Okay.
And Leo have a lead 1-0 over. I think who they're playing.
Obviously, Auray. Ooh, good tip in there. That was Leuven's certainly getting much closer now to getting a goal. But obviously, Auray, Watduck's the big score here for this particular game. Auray needs to lose for those two teams here to stand any chance of going through. Given the, I think it's a 9-point gap between those two teams, and Auray being the second place in Pool B. Here we have the replay, I believe, of the incident. No, we do not. We'll get back to you, folks. Well, at the ball, looking for an opening. Max Goodsmets, back to Mo.
Beerschot happy enough just to knock the ball around, provide a bit of pressure, open up a little bit of space in the midfield if needed.
So certainly a more balanced dynamic right now in the second half so far. Sean, good through pass, get in the circle. Again, good setup.
So now you'll see Beerschot go through a bit of a phase of just trying to slow the game down. Just
Playing Leuven's game.
Yeah, that's right. Just keep possession of it. Not a great pass.
But not really. Here we go, maybe. Oh,
There he
terrible
goes again.
mistake by Leuven there. Dreadful mistake. They'll be kicking themselves now. 3-0 up for Beerschot. Good finish, but pretty much a gift wrapped up for Beerschot there.
Yeah, it was. I said that Mo's pass wasn't a good one, but the next one was a worse one. Mo's having a bit of a break now. See if that changes the dynamics at the back there at all.
So does Leuven throw the kitchen sink already, or I mean 3-0, not too much time, that much time left?
Oh, the game can go quickly, but they haven't shown a great deal of evidence of being able to get back from that. They get a bit of an opportunity there. But this is a good opportunity to see how Beerschot managed without Firster back there, you know. So
Arthur clearly taking the lead over.
yeah, a bit more direct. Nice attack. Leuven have the numbers, but
immediately, Beerschot players surrounding the Leuven players, really not be many opportunity for a quick counter-attack.
That's true.
Foul to Leuven. Here we have a replay of the goal. Quite unfortunate pass there.
Yeah, Pat Harris.
Please look away in 3, 2, 1. Aye.
It's
Sorry, we're distracted by the replay there, where there's a penalty corner given to Leuven now.
yeah, Simon Gugnard causing some problems on the left-hand side. It's taken down in the circle.
I mean, Simon on the ball in the circle, you're pretty much in trouble by definition.
Yeah. This becomes very important. You know, they're not going to get too many of these occasions in this quarter,
So penalty corner for Leuven here. Talk us through here.
well, Jerome seems to be off, so he won't be flicking it. Simon is a really good pull out. Will give this guy a lot of time.
Good save, but not a decent effort.
Yeah, well defended in the end.
Yeah,
Pretty simple.
good coverage for
save.
the goalie there. Here we got the replay of the penalty corner.
Got it past the first runner.
Decent height.
I think both teams can do a bit of work on their rebounding skills on the corner, because both the keepers have kind of left the ball in a position that could have been followed up. Nice transfer.
Certainly showing more initiative now.
Oh, well defended. Nice and brave.
A good advance by the referee there, no?
Yeah.
Good whistle for the penalty corner. Beerschot so far successfully soaking up the pressure. Don't want to give Leuven too many opportunities to shift the momentum.
Good turn of pace.
Wow. Yeah. It feels a bit harsh.
Could have gone either way though. Number 10 thinks the same.
Are there any plans for the Belgian competition to adopt a video and a refereeing?
Well, it's a pretty expensive exercise, you know, so you've got to firstly have the camera work set up to be able to do that, and you also need to be able to man it properly.
Oh, great little flick there. Great breakthrough. But again, Beerschot seems to be quite happy to control the ball. Sorry, Shane.
Yeah, look, I think they'd love to do it, but it's probably it's the next step. It's a really nice ball as well.
Here we go, Simon at his best, I think, probably attacking straight up. Bit of a sloppy lateral pass, I think. There we go. It pulls the trigger, but
Pulls it wide.
wide, yes.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that you wanted to see Leuven doing earlier in the game, you know, and maybe they do it through necessity now, but I think for them to have their best opportunity against Beerschot, that you needed to see those type of runs and that kind of aggressive play a little bit earlier. Shifting into the last 5 minutes of the game, of the quarter, so you know, things do get a bit looser here. More opportunities, and often goals are scored in these type of moments.
Leuven captain here looking for an opening. But again, solid defending by Beerschot, swarming the midfield.
It's a good turnover. Could lead to danger.
But it seems to be more measured attacking from Beerschot.
Yeah.
Understandably, obviously.
Yeah, the necessity to score is gone, but you know, they certainly don't want to be wasteful as well, and they'd love to have another goal here. Nice internal play.
Good opportunity maybe for Leuven here. Good technique, but again, well defended. And ball to Leuven. Quickly played. Looking for the penalty corner or the good ball. Oh, it's a decent strike. And
Yeah, one's feeling it.
well on the foot.
Uh,
No, it wasn't.
no, it wasn't his foot. It's a bit higher than that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just not used to see those type of passes from the back. Okay.
Leuven again.
Good interception there again by Rossi.
Yeah, good control, carries away easy.
But Beerschot very much in control, even though they are soaking up some more pressure and have some more opportunities. But they seem to be very comfortable at the ball. Take the time to look up.
You're gonna Leuven kind of have to come out at them in the last quarter. Yeah, they'll have to be pressing a lot higher and with a bit more aggressive attitude and so on.
Does that present an opportunity for Beerschot team?
Yeah, for sure. So you know, there's more goals for the making here if Beerschot do a good job. Always when a team's desperate to score, they have to do it in a structured way, and if they don't, then they pay the price.
So again, 3 players of Beerschot on the Leuven player seem to be high, and it is. He is down. We might need a little break here. Obviously, it's never nice to be injured, but pretty sure that the break is somewhat welcome for Beerschot, just to kind of interrupt maybe the somewhat momentum that Leuven was starting to gather.
Yeah, it was just over a minute to go in the quarter, and you know, Beerschot will be hoping just to hold that out, keep possession of the ball for a large part of that minute, and then reinforce themselves for that last quarter. You know, make sure they keep hold of the ball and move it around, and it becomes game management rather than trying to score too much.
Through the Slover waiting for the whistle, which I come. So as you said, Shane, very much looking to control. Oh, that was a cheap one.
Yeah,
Getting into the circle. This could be killing for the match, but it's not. So Leuven back on the counter again. But it is remarkable how Beerschot is controlling those rushes.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
See him on the ball now, looking for some space to run into. A big guy as well, Simo, isn't he? I mean, looks.
Yeah.
I mean, even from here, it looks much
Yeah.
bigger than most of the players on the pitch.
Yeah, he's a big lad. Only one that probably measures up well against him is Rossi. You know, Rossi's also a big lad.
Big bulky guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, oh, that's. I think they were looking for a foul there, and we have.
He's just where's below the end of the quarter.
Of the quarter.
Yeah, last quarter. What do you say? You know, like the.
I mean, thanks for asking. Look, the 3-0, and given the dynamic and how the game has played out so far, it's hard to see Leuven come back from this. But again, based on what I've seen for 3 quarters, you know, third quarter there were some more opportunities, some more urgency from Leuven, but it seemed to be well controlled by Beerschot.
Yeah. Look, I think you're right there. I think it would have to be a new type of last quarter for Leuven. You know, a goal can change that. It can give you a bit more resolve and a bit more thought that you can win the game. But you also have to have a look at what Beerschot have done over the last part of the season, and they've been in these type of games a lot.
Gotcha.
So when you lose a game that you've been winning, you always dissect that and you try and eliminate those things happening. So I'd be really surprised if Beerschot threw this away, and also coupled with, I don't think Leuven's shown enough to suggest that they're going to get 4 goals in this next quarter. You know, so
Minimum
let's
4.
see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. But you know, everything being normal, you'd imagine that Beerschot will hold it. They'll either get another goal and have some fun with it.
On the counter, most likely, then, I guess.
Yeah, on the counter. Or Leuven will overcommit on attack and just won't be structured enough. Or you might see some desperation stuff from Leuven, which brings it to a 3-1. But you know, I think there is another goal. Just which team will get it.
Any updates on other scores?
No, just trying to follow those on my phone. People send them through.
Ore What Ducks being the big one for those two teams. It was 2-2 last time we checked. So off we go for the 4th and final quarter. Leuven, well, with a very clear task on the hand. Score 4, concede none. So Beerschot seemingly to be quite happy to let them come to them.
Yeah.
Again, forced high ball there, but it feels by Leuven, which led to a turnover again for Beerschot. Low on the ball. Again, very much controlled. Big gap here.
This could be trouble. Turnover, they've got a few numbers ahead. He's quite handy on the ball.
Has to we have nothing. Long corner. So Leuven really needs to get one in the next 5 minutes at least, one to kind of get going, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So scores are still remaining the same in the.
Okay.
So Leo Racing is 1-0. What Ducks Ore is 2-3 to Ore.
This may all be all for nothing.
Yeah.
Surprising score, Ore, What Ducks?
Oh no! Look, that's it's a really interesting one. You got some interesting players playing in that competition. You know, John Derman coming from What Ducks. Always when you play for a club for a long time and then you play against them, they're really interesting matches. They always get up for those type of games. So yeah, it doesn't really surprise me. But What Ducks has also been going pretty well of late. Got a really nice young team and some real talent for the future.
So is anything else but Gantoise What Ducks on the cards for a final?
Well, yeah, that's what you'd predict, but
Well, sorry to interrupt, but we had Leuven here trying to get into circle. Still a dangerous moment here for Beerschot. You don't want to concede.
here's a goal.
Start creating some panic. I believe there's a penalty corner. There we are. But some strong appeals from the Beerschot players there. Hands in the hair. See much wrong with that call. Did you change?
Yeah,
Here we go. As you can see on the replay, I'm not sure what the players are appealing.
yeah.
Obstruction, maybe?
No. They appealed for it hitting Sydney's foot.
We're going to check again while the players get set up for the penalty corner.
It comes in.
That's on a stick.
Yeah, it hits the stick.
It does hit the stick.
Yeah, looks clumsy, but certainly was a stick.
Yeah. And you can clearly see the reaction of the player.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope this is not then a pivotal moment in the match.
Alright. You got the Kaiser on here now, so you're probably going to see a guy really ripping it.
As predicted.
There it is. 3-1.
Great goal by Jérôme de Kaiser there to bring back the score to 3-1 and give some hope to Leuven. I'm sure this will somewhat change the dynamics.
So
Give some impetus to Leuven. I don't think Beerschot will get too nervous quite yet. But yeah, should make for an interesting final 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, here the duo of.
Great ball.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Oh my, sorry guys. That was an amazing pass, followed by an amazing. Was it a deliberate tip in?
Oh, I think it was.
I think it was a
trap.
missed block, I think.
But
nonetheless, great opportunity for Beerschot there.
Yeah.
It was in the circle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the circle. It was in the circle.
So it went off the bar before those. So look here in
Here
the
it is,
replay.
70
Amazing
meters.
ball by Arthur.
Oh.
No worries, we need to get back to the game.
Here
And
it
here
is.
we go, the pass from Arthur.
70 meters.
And missed control
Yeah.
and hits the crossbar.
Oh.
Oh my god. It would have been harsh to live this way.
That would have been harsh. Also, the guy that scored it, to know that your best ever goal you got was a missed trap wouldn't be good.
I mean, I'm sure he'll claim all day that it was intentional, but given the position of his stick, I don't think that will stick. Pardon the pun.
Right.
So again, Leuven really high pressure now.
Yeah, you're seeing a bit more from them. They're going to have to do well to get out of here. Now, they've been composed. Yeah, well played.
Seems to be very
I
much
don't stand
comfortable
me.
so far.
They have to weather the storm for 2 or 3 minutes, and if they can do that, they take a bit of the sting out of Leuven again.
A bit more of a breeze we get that storm so far. Again, I'm so sorry for any Leuven watchers. Obviously, I sound biased, which I am, but it's a good game. Sitting there, puts it wide. And again, Arthur and Mo controlling from the back.
Yeah, the thing at the moment is Beerschot can choose when they go forward, you know, because of the lack of pressure or orchestrated pressure from Leuven. It becomes quite easy for Beerschot just to keep possession of it and cause those little breaches, you know. Whereas on the other way, Beerschot are doing a good job pressing. So each time Leuven's in position at the back, there's always someone busy trying to put a bit of pressure on the ball.
But it's not quite kitchen sink stuff yet from Leuven, right?
No,
Because
no, they're orchestrated. Oh, it's a bit unlucky.
might have an opportunity for
Yeah.
Beerschot turn in a shot. And we've got a corner. Textbook play so far, really, from Beerschot in terms of controlling the match, I think.
Yeah. As I said before, they've learnt a lot over the last few weeks with some games that they've been a bit-
Disappointing game in Woodocks, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
there was, yeah.
To what extent do teams reflect the demeanour or the character of a coach? I'm only asking because I know John, the coach of Beerschot, quite well, and maybe I see some similarities in terms of their character and the style of play. Am I reading too much into this?
Look, I think you role model a lot. Certainly expectations and how professional you are in doing things. I think that comes out in your players. Also, I think if you've got a coach that has a volatile,
Powerful Simon there being tackled by 3 players, which is needed to tackle a Simon Guignard. Gets the foul.
yeah, if you have a volatile coaching style, what tends to happen is your players reflect that as well. So you have a lot of arguing with umpires and stuff like that. And if you have an environment where you have a bit more of a calm demeanour and things like that, and a bit more controlled, I think, again, your players reflect that. So, yeah, the coaches set the boundaries, and then players challenge those boundaries, I guess.
Well, I'm not too sure what the referee is whistling for there. I believe he maybe have seen a kick, a foot.
I'm not sure what he saw there. Oh, it's
I'm sure
escalating.
the Beerschot players will be happy to take it. Some unfortunate comments from the Leuven bench there. Not seeing any cards though. I understand the frustration on the Leuven bench, but I don't think it's the right time to be interrupting the flow of the match now for Leuven. I think they need to get going.
It's a good ball. It's not 5. It's a good setup here, so if, they look to power in from this type of area. So you should see the guys leading a bit in the circle. So first is looking up, trying to connect. And where they've got the opportunities, they have Rossi also that can bang the ball in there.
Ouch.
Okay, 1-1.
And as it naturally tends to get towards the end of the match, tensions rise a little bit, so there's more appeals with every single whistle now.
Oh look, I think they won. I think they got the last couple of the wrong way around, but they're even now, so let's get back on with the game.
So Leuven still trying to find a way through that really solid Beerschot setup. That was a decent ball in there.
It wasn't too bad, he was free.
May have time to stop the ball and have a hit instead of flicking it and a tip in. Get so much control there.
Great ball.
Beerschot with a bit of space there. Try and control the ball. Get back in the D. Big rush there from the Leuven captain. Successful rush. But again, it's, you know, when you look at the Leuven players now, there seems to be a bit down. The sense of urgency seems to be making place for maybe some, I don't know.
Well, they've got a big hill to climb, that's for sure.
They do, but they do. I mean, 7 minutes, a lot needs to happen, but it has been seen before. Now, even if I do this.
Yeah.
Sure. Four seasons in one day here, folks. I was just going to tell you that we have rain, but the sunshine is back out.
That was a good run by Sydney Cabaret. Well-handled defensively.
Well defended there. So Leuven back at it again. Simon again looking for an opening. Might have found it.
Nice
Great ball in there.
Oh. Good composure under pressure.
Sure is.
Oops, a little less composure.
So Leuven somewhat in control now, but still really kind of struggling to get maintaining really strong pressure and getting up strong opportunities out of it. Whereas we might be looking at a counter for Beerschot here on the right hand side. Great flick, bit too long maybe. Bit of a seesaw game right now.
Yeah, a lot's happening 25 to 25, not too much in the attacking circle at the moment. This guy's got a bit of pace about him.
He does.
Tackle.
Great tackle on the foot and ball to Beerschot. Bit of experience showing there as well, I think, from Rossi.
Yeah. Great ball.
Wide open as well.
Yeah, it's more aggression with the pressure, which means there's more.
Yeah, more spaces in.
For the last 5 minutes now.
Ball went out.
And you're going to
So
the
Simon is going to start rushing now.
the contrast of one team trying to bring speed in, the other trying to take speed out.
Clever play. And Beerschot really in control now, it seems. With 3 minutes left.
He's done
Oh.
well there.
Great turn. Great pass there. Unfortunate layoff. And referee calling over Leuven player for a green card for the little shove there off the ball.
What's that, sorry?
That green card was for the little shove there. Yeah. Out of your picture, but the bench player, green carded player, is getting his face mask. Really surreal. And again, Beerschot full control, certainly now with 1 man down, or 1 man up rather.
It's well done. That's
Great
really
strike,
well done.
tip it. It was deflected, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, deflected by a Leuven player. But we're looking at a 4-1 score now, people, and
It was really nice play. Broken field. Bit of loose marking, but nice lead by Capel. Little touch in front of the keeper. Keeper really couldn't do much about that one.
so eyes will slowly start turning in towards Brussels to see what Ducks in Array the score is giving there. It's again crucial for the future for those two teams for the playoffs.
Yeah, so it's 1-1 Leo Racing. 3-1 Dragons versus Gantoise. That's the only scores I've got to update so far.
So we're going to assume it's still 2-3 for Auray, which would put Auray in a safe spot. Oh, big tackle there, but advantage played and almost in. Beerschot still looking for that 5th goal now. Got about 2 minutes left, so I think Beerschot can probably look back on a very well executed game plan. And
yeah, they've done a pretty good job, to be fair. Created a few opportunities in the first quarter, and then second quarter built on that. Got to 2-0 at the half. And, now they've broken the game, 4-1.
Simon there throwing his stick up in the air in frustration.
Great ball again.
Last push from the mighty Simon.
Nice ball there.
It really feels like a missed opportunity for Leuven, and especially in the first 2 quarters where there was not much ambition, shall I put it that way, to kind of venture forwards and maybe a bit too passive. That's maybe where they lost the game. Or was it, again, I'm not sure if it was, you know, intentional or not to kind of sit back a bit more in the first 2 quarters, but
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. Like I think that you know, it appears that there's a bit of a mismatch in the two sides when there shouldn't be. I think the sides are closer together than the scoreline reflects. But in today's play, Beerschot have been really dominant. I think they've shown a lot of control and moved the ball around well. Certainly taking their chances. There's been a couple of very nicely worked goals that came from nothing really. Leuven, you know, apart from a couple of times, they haven't really shown enough to say that they could beat this Beerschot team how they are.
A good example there of Mo and his control and his experience. And as the final whistle goes, it is a final score 4-1 to Beerschot. I think this is where we're going to wrap up. We did ask the coaches prior to see maybe if we could do an interview, but neither of them were very keen. So I think we'll wrap it up here. Shane, thank you so much for your insightful commentaries. Good luck towards Tokyo.
Thanks,
obviously.
thanks, appreciate that.
And everybody at home, thank you for following this match. We wish you much warmer weather than what we're in here now. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon, and hope you have a good week. Thank you for joining us. This was William and Shane signing off. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How confident I feel when I wear my suit. My heart pumps tension and adrenaline. No more thinking, especially by feeling. Enjoy the ride.
Omdat wij bij Mobile Vikings weten dat je veel liever naar je favoriete filmpjes kijkt dan naar reclame, hebben we de twee gecombineerd. Uw favoriete filmpje en mijn filmpje. Voilà, smart hè. Maar weet je wat echt smart is? Bij Mobile Vikings surft je en belt je tot 25% goedkoper. Engelenkoor.
Mobile Vikings. Keep your smartphone smart.